The Mile is one of my favorite Breeders' Cup races. It always brings some really exciting Euros, like Goldakova, you may remember, won it 3 years in a row. It's just a really fun race. And the Euros, while they may not bring their best for some of the other turf races, it seems like this is a race that they do focus on. We'll take a look at this field, and led by Carl Spackler, certainly the Americans' best hope to win with a couple of back-to-back Grade 1 wins. Pretty impressive. Uh, you've also got, for the Euros, Notable Speech, who's been a real bear, and Porta Fortuna, who just seems to be getting better and better, and we know likes firm ground from Royal Ascot earlier in the year, so the firmer the better. She's one definitely to watch going against the boys. Ramatuelle, who just won the Prix de la Forêt, which is usually a prep race for the Breeders' Cup Mile. From the U.S., we've got Johannes, who's been a very dominating turf performer on the West Coast. A little home cooking for him. And then More Than Looks, who has not got on the win column yet, but has had two solid seconds since coming off a really long layoff for Cherie DeVoe. And the usual Chad Brown assortment, and we've got a couple of Japanese imports as well. So this is a fully contentious field, and it should be a fun race. We're going to start by looking at the first Lady Stakes, and it was won by Gina Romantica for Peter Brandt and trained by Chad Brown, one of several he has in here. This one is, sometimes good, sometimes not. It just doesn't always show up, but did for the First Lady, and is a horse who's certainly worthy of paying attention to. And then we have Chili Flag, and this horse absolutely loves a mile. Not much stretching out hasn't worked out too well, but this horse runs very well at a mile, a late runner, and one certainly want to pay attention to. So let's have a look at the First Lady Stakes. Okay, so here's the First Lady, and Gina Romantica is in the 4-hole, and More Than Looks is in the 8-hole.
They're off in the First Lady, presented by
I meant
UK
Chili Flag, I'm
Healthcare.
sorry.
Slow start for Tarawa. Absolute last as they head for the first turn. In the meantime, Ag Bullet comes out for the lead. There's Ag Bullet moving up from the outside, clearing the inside
Gina
traffic.
Romantica
White Beam moves forward as well. Gina Romantica right there, saving ground to the inside in third. Special One, a lane off the rail. In fourth, Evie Jets, fifth back toward the
Chili
inside.
Flag at the rear as usual.
Will go in sixth. Safine is seventh. Implicated is eighth. Tarawa moves up 2 spots from last into ninth, only for a moment though. Fluffy Socks moves back up to her inside, and further
Pretty
back,
quick,
Chili
but that's
Flag
the way
is
Ag
last
Bullet
at the
goes,
11. The
and,
opening quarter went in 22.81 seconds. Up the backstretch they go. Ag Bullet the leader. Ag Bullet against the rail leads it by nearly 3 lengths. White Beam second a length. Gina Romantica third ahead. Special Juan is fourth in between horses. Walkathon is fifth. Toward the far outside, heading to the far turn. Nearly
sprint.
5 lengths off the lead though, and is followed by Evie Jets. And then comes Fluffy Socks to the inside as they move midway on the turn. Safine implicated 4 wide. Tarawa next to last. Chili Flag against the rail. Still last 9 lengths from the front. Ag Bullet the leader. Ag Bullet 3 lengths to the good. A quarter mile to go. Gina Romantica now tries to pick up the chase from the inside. Switches off the rail. She's still second. And then Special One and White Beam. Fluffy Socks is fourth back toward the inside. Here's Gina. Gina Romantica moving forward to take the lead from Ag Bullet. Chili Flag is running late from far back, but Gina Romantica has the lead.
And
it is Chili Flag to second. Gina Romantica. Jose Ortiz goes back-to-back on the card. Gina Romantica wins the First Lady, presented by
really
UK
nice race.
Healthcare. 1 minute 33.8 seconds.
In better form after that one. Next, we're going to look at those that ran in the Coolmore Turf Mile. And the first, of course, is Carl Spackler, who was pretty impressive. And this is a horse who just coming into the race, the Breeders' Cup Mile, couldn't be coming in better form. I think is the American's best hope for a win. Just really impressive and seems to be thriving at this time. So one we definitely want to pay attention to for sure. Then we have More Than Looks, and this is one that has had a couple of starts this year, hasn't got a win yet, but has been right there both times. Very impressive looking colt, and has filled out quite a bit since 3 years old. Cherie DeVoe obviously doing her usual exceptional job. So this is one that we want to pay attention to as well. And then we have Mountain Bear, and this one's kind of mercurial for Aidan O'Brien. Got a really good I believe it was second or third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf last year at Santa Anita, but has been he's been kind of up and down, and it's he's not he's a course that kind of scares me because with Aidan O'Brien, they can just all of a sudden get it all together, and he could be really dangerous. Might be a bit of a sleeper in here. Got a third in the Coolmore Turf Mile, and I did think he would outrun his odds, and he did. But I'm not sure about the will to win with this one. But anyway, you can judge for yourself. Let's take a look at the Turf Mile. So here's the Coolmore Turf Mile. Carl Spackler is all the way out in the 9-hole. Mountain Bear is on the rail in the 1-hole, and More Than Looks is number 3.
And they're off in the Coolmore Turf Mile.
Level beginning. You see Carl Spackler pretty keen.
There goes
to
Carl
get up,
Spackler from
on
the
engine,
outside.
and that was a little
Carl
bit
Spackler
of a surprise.
kicks in, goes right
But,
to the lead, starts to
when you
clear
got
the
best
inside
horse, that's
traffic.
what you
Spirit
ought
of
to
St.
do, is
Louis
just stay
will
out
move
of
forward
trouble,
toward
get
the
right to the
outside,
front, and that's
into
what
the
he
second
did.
position, into the
You see
first
Mountain
turn.
Bear
Noises
was a
off
little
between
funky on
horses.
that turn,
Talk of the Nation moves by
but
that one now
stayed
up
towards
into
the
second
back, and,
alongside of
More
leader
Than
Carl
Looks suffered a
Spackler.
little
Spirit of
bit
St.
from
Louis,
that, but
wide
it didn't
third.
really
Around the first
affect
turn,
him too
running B
terribly
back toward the
much,
inside is
staying at
fourth.
the rear.
Noises off is fifth between horses. Cash Equity, a wide sixth. Mountain Bear seventh. Kukuli is eighth. More Than Looks is last of the 9. The opening quarter in 23.93 seconds. Back up front, Carl Spackler, the leader. Carl Spackler leads it by a half length. Talk of the Nation, second by 2 lengths. Spirit of St. Louis, third up on the outside by just a neck. Running B is fourth down toward the inside. Noises off. Mountain Bear, who moves up into fifth, 5 lengths off the lead toward the rail. Cash Equity, then Kukuli, and More Than Looks is still last. It was 47.28 seconds, the time for the first half mile. On to the final turn they go. Carl Spackler shows the way. Still leads it. Now the lead's out to a length and a half. Spirit of St. Louis has to go wide, and Running B moves up the inside. A quarter mile to go. Running B to second. Spirit of St. Louis to third. Carl Spackler has the lead. Carl Spackler in front. And here comes Spirit of St. Louis on the outside. Running B toward the inside, then Talk of the Nation. Mountain Bear is a wide fifth. And Carl Spackler, it looked for just a moment that they were bearing down on him. Now he hits another gear. He's got the lead back out to 3.5. More Than Looks is coming stoutly late, but here's the wire.
Impressive.
Carl Spackler wins the Coolmore Turf Mile by a diminishing length on the line in 1 minute 34.23 seconds.
And that's the right way to go, especially at Del Mar. So something to keep in mind.
The official winner.
Now we're going to look at a couple of Euros who recently ran in the Prix de Moulin de Longchamp, which is usually a pretty good prep for the Breeders' Cup. And we'll start with Henry Longfellow for Aidan O'Brien. I'm not sure that this one's going to run because he just ran a couple of weeks ago, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he scratches. But did get a pretty good third in the Longchamp, but followed it up with a kind of an okay seventh in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. The next is Notable Speech, and this is one I'm pretty excited to see run. When he decides to run, he is extremely tough, but he can disappear at times. Now, the Prix de Moulin de Longchamp, he ran an okay fifth, I would say, but we have to remember that the ground is much deeper than it will be at Del Mar, and so that could have impacted the way he ran. You see, when he does want to run, he got a Grade 1 victory in the Sussex Stakes at a mile. So this is one that we absolutely want to pay attention to. And that he is definitely going to be dangerous if he's on his game. So let's have a look at the Prix de Moulin de Longchamp. So this is because it's at it's at Longchamp. The commentary, the race call will be in French, but to give you an idea, in Notable Speech is in the 4-hole in the Godolphin Blue, and all the way to the outside is Henry Longfellow in the familiar Michael Tabor Silks of orange and blue.
Le prix du Moulin de Longchamp, groupe 1, 1600 mètres à parcourir. Le favori s'appelle Charine, c'est le cheval gris qui galope pour l'instant à l'extérieur. Le lauréat du prix Jacques Le Marois qui va venir se placer en dehors de Caramelito alors que le numéro 2 Tribalis, comme d'habitude, accélère pour venir s'installer aux commandes. Le numéro 7 Henry Longfellow maintenant est troisième. Notable Speech se retrouvant à l'arrière avec le numéro 5 Ramadan et la jument Kelina. Le numéro 4 est en dernière position.
Il y a de l'impulsion du rythme avec le Tribaliste qui est en tête. Caramelito en deuxième deuxième position. Henry Longfellow qui vient en troisième position. Le grand favori Charine, le cheval le gris pour le moment en quatrième. Ramadan venant un petit peu plus loin avec Notable Speech qui est en avant-dernière position. Et Kelina qui ferme la marche.
Et Tribaliste qui met toujours autant de rythme et de longueur devant Caramelito qui compte quant à lui 3 longueurs devant Henry Longfellow qui a dans son dos Charine, quatrième Ramadan, cinquième à l'extérieur. Notable Speech est toujours en dernière position. Le 4 Kelina.
La fausse ligne droite avec Tribaliste dans son rythme qui possède 5-6 longueurs d'avance maintenant sur Caramelito. Les favoris qui sont encore en retrait. Henry Longfellow qui est troisième, Charine quatrième, Notable Speech qui est encore à l'arrière-garde avec Ramadan et Kelina qui est toujours dernière.
Ils sont maintenant dans la dernière ligne droite à environ 450 mètres du but. Tribaliste à l'avantage, Caramelito essaie de refaire du terrain. Henry Longfellow est troisième, Charine décide d'accélérer en dehors. Il a dans son dos Notable Speech, Tribaliste qui repart de plus belle. Tribaliste à l'avantage, Charine maintenant a trouvé sa cadence à l'extérieur avec Caramelito qui se défend bien. Tribaliste qui a le meilleur, Charine de mieux en mieux. Tribaliste à 50 mètres du but a le meilleur devant Charine qui refait du terrain. Tribaliste de bout en bout. Tribaliste qui va triompher dans son groupe 1, résistant à Charine qui est deuxième. Henry Longfellow est troisième. Caramelito.
Look at the lone California West Coast contender in the mile, and that's Johannes. And he has basically been it for the turf mile division in California. You see he's got 2 wins this year, one in the Eddie Reed and the other in the City of Hope Mile, which we're going to take a look at. And, really the question, of course, is class, is whether or not he can step his game up. But he looks awful good so far. So let's have a look at the City of Hope Mile. So Johannes is in the 3-hole for the City of Hope Mile.
4 to 5, right on his morning line. Conclude to the outside stall. And Almendaris going in. And they're off in the City of Hope Mile, presented by my racehorse, Paxawallop. Gets a quick start. Conclude on the outside is sprinting up to take the lead, and Astronomer now moves up to claim second. Johannes is fourth and relaxing nicely, 4 lengths off the lead.
Very comfortable.
Trickery is just outside of him, followed by stretch running De Jour. Racing on the inside of Almendaris, and Easter is at the back of the field. Conclude gets over to the rail and leads the way by 2 over Astronomer second, Paxawallop third. Umberto Rispoli has Johannes in fourth, 5 lengths off the lead under a nice hole. He's just in front of Trickery still with De Jour, followed by Almendaris, who's 8 lengths off the lead, 3/4 back to Easter. They're heading to the half-mile pole. Behind Conclude, who's been
Pretty
there
good pace to
throughout
run
and
to,
leads by 2, chased intently by Astronomer.
I don't think that Johannes looks terribly worried about them getting away from him.
Trickery joined at the rail by De Jour. That pair
Saving
6 lengths
ground.
off the lead, both of whom starting to roll now. Another couple of
See,
lengths
he's
to
kicking it in now.
Almendaris, who is on the outside of Easter, who's trailed throughout. Conclude keeps going, 2-length lead, but here's Johannes, and Johannes looms between horses. He's had a great trip, and he's poised to pounce at the top of the stretch. Johannes up to take the lead. De Jour has surfaced with his rally, and Trickery is in fourth. A 16th to go, and Johannes puts away
pretty game,
and
but,
opens up another dazzling display for Johannes to win
good.
the City of Hope Mile, presented by my racehorse. Blanket photo for second, including an oncoming
132 and
Almendaris.
2, pretty damn good time as well. Look at the first of 2 Japanese imports potentially running in the field, and the first is Geoglyph, and this one is by Sunday Racing in Tetsuya Komura. Those are the silks, I believe, of Derma Sotogaki. I'm not sure, Crown Pride, who you may remember from a couple of years ago. Ran most recently in the Sapporo Keenan, a grade 2, and did get second, and we're going to take a look at that one right now, and it is in Japanese, so do the best you can to follow the horse, and we'll take a look at that. So this is the Sapporo Keenan.
全馬がゲートに収まります。
2,000 meters, so it's a little bit over
札幌記念。
a mile, and
スタートしました。
Geoglyph is in the 2
若
hole, so
干
he's
プロ
in
グ
the
ノーシスは
black
後ろか
cap
ら
with the
ス
red
タンド前に出てきます
cross sashes and the
まず
yellow
真ん
and
中から
black
押して8番の
sleeves,
アウ
and
ス
he's
バール
there
が
right on the rail.
今日も先手を取りに行くか前に出ます外の2番手に12番ノースブリッジ3番手インコース2番のジオグリフ接近していった5番のチャックネイト外から7番鳳凰アマゾンこれらの後ろに4番シャフリヤール先団の後ろ スタンド前から1コーナー、2馬身がいて9番のステラベローチェ、3馬身差10番のモズゴールドバレルが続いていって、内にトップナイフ、後方2頭デュラエレーデとプログノーシスとなりました。残り1400を切って2コーナー、今日も行きました8番アウスバール、後続を3馬身離して逃げていきます。2コーナー、2番手に12番のノースブリッジです。3番手は集団になっていて、7番鳳凰アマゾン、内に2番のジオグリフ、間4番シャフリヤール、3番手集団3頭で向こう正面に出ます。1馬身半差、中段からは5番のチャックネイト、この内に入った9番ステラベローチェ、2馬身がいて6番トップナイフ、外は10番モズゴールドバレル、並んでいっています。 1000m は1分0秒5と計測されました。1馬身半差、後ろから2頭目が1番デュラエレーレ、11番プログノーシス、1馬身差で最高峰を進んでいます。800は捨てに切って3コーナーカーブです。8番アウスバールが依然逃げています。リードを3馬身から4馬身、短期2番手12番ノースブリッジ、34コーナー中間600を切りました。その後ろ鳳凰アマゾン、内は2番ジオグリフ、外目に5番チャックネイト、3番手集団インコースにステラベローチェ、この外からシャフリヤール、そしてモズゴールドバレルがその後ろトップナイフ、徐々に外から動いていく。後方寄りから11番プログノーシス、進出を開始。4コーナーから直線に向かってくる。直線入り口先頭に立って12番ノースブリッジ、リードを1馬身2馬身取りました。やや外に切り返して2番ジオグリフが追ってくる。200を切りました。内は粘るアウスバール、その後ろステラベローチェ、大外からシャフリヤール、プログノーシスも追い込んでくるが、先頭12番ノースブリッジ、リードを2馬身3馬身、ノースブリッジ先頭ゴールイン。2番手は2番ジオグリフ、3番手接戦、最後内をさばいて追い込んだ9番。
Two are a couple of Euros who ran in the Prix de la Forêt, which has always been a traditional prep for the Breeders' Cup Mile. And the first is Ramatuelle. You see by Justify with Raven's Pass underneath. We remember Raven's Pass winning the Breeders' Cup Classic a couple of times when it was on synthetic. This one is a 3-year-old who really seems to be coming into his own. You see, he's never been out of the money. And this is a horse definitely we want to pay attention to for sure. Second is River Tiber, and we remember him from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. I believe he ran in last year. May have been the Turf, I'm not sure. But he did come over, and this one was pretty well thought of it too, but he seems to be more of a sprinter type to me. He really hasn't followed through this year with the kind of success that was envisioned for him, I think, being by Wooten Bassett. But you see, he ran kind of a subpar 8th in the Prix de la Forêt, but we'll take a look at that one. This is the Prix de la Forêt, and you'll see, if you look right in the middle of the first gate, you'll see Ramatuelle in the white with the blue or black chevron. And then River Tiber is all the way in the second gate on the outside in the Tabor silks blue and orange.
Set, go. They race away to a fairly decent line. Zero Stress and Poet Master and Kinross and Ramatuelle amongst the first to show. Matilda Percott in the yellow cap nearest to us is up there. Tribalist is further back, and then comes Ocean Jewel and Extra Breeze back against the running well to the grey, which is King Gold. With him in blue and white is Big Rock, and then River Tiber blue and orange from Beauvatier. Tiber Flow is next, and then comes Gregorina with red sleeves, and Ribble Tagier on the right, a picture light blue and yellow is the back marker. Matilda Percott is leading them down the falls straight to Zero Stress and Tribalist either side. Poet Master in yellow against the running rail. Kinross about 5th at the moment. In behind these Extra, the orange sleeves, and then Big Rock with the blue blinkers towards the right. Ramatuelle, white face for her in the centre of the field at the moment. They have a long run down the straight, and it's Zero Stress of the red cap, Matilda Percott. On the extreme left is Poet Master, Tribalist, Ramatuelle coming into it. Kinross is going for a run up the inside. Extra heads the remainder. Not many have got into it. Ramatuelle in the black and white now comes to take it up as they enter the final 200 metres. Oh, she's cleared away. Look at this. Ramatuelle is going to romp home here. Kinross moves into second, Beauvatier for third, but a very easy victory. That was impressive. Ramatuelle, she went up with the pace, just in behind them most of the way.
Next, we'll look at Porta Fortuna, and this is a horse that I really like. She is just a fantastic filly. She ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf last year, and I believe she got second, and has since stretched out and has just really come into her own at a mile. Won the Coronation stakes at Ascot earlier in the year, and the key to it was the firm ground. So you know that she's going to like it at Del Mar, being the turf being much firmer than they run at overseas. We're going to take a look at the Matron Stakes, which is her most recent effort, but this is a filly that could easily beat the boys. Here's the Matron Stakes, and Porta Fortuna is in the 8-hole there. You see in the white silks with the pink and black stripes on the sleeves. And so she's to the outside. And it's a straightaway, as you can see.
On the inside, taken on by Fallen Angel.
I'm just going to draft off Fallen Angel there.
And on the outside, Soprano.
Soprano is in this race too, who we saw earlier in Keeneland, and I think we're going to see in the filly and mare turf. Although I think she has some distance limitations, I'm kind of surprised I didn't put her in the mile. But anyway,
closely followed by Soprano. On the inside is Mama's Girl, and fourth is Porta Fortuna with a break of a couple of lengths to Vespertilio.
Did I say straight away? I was wrong.
By Elang. The final three are Wendler, Magical Sunset, and Janssens. Little changes in the order as they come past the halfway stage. In the lead is Fallen Angel and James Doyle by half length to Soprano and Billy Lochnan on the outside. Followed round towards the entrance to the straight by Mama's Girl and Robert Weirty. And these are tracked by Porta Fortuna and Tom Marquand as they leave the 3-pole behind them. Then Elang, Vespertilio, Wendler, Magical Sunset, and getting a squeeze out the back is Janssens. They're in the straight.
It up a little
just
bit,
over
as
a
they
quarter
do.
to go. Fallen Angel from Soprano on the inside. Mama's Girl into a challenging position as Porta Fortuna.
Watch this acceleration.
Across the track, 2 up on Elang, and then Magical Sunset and Wendler's next. The stretch from rail to rail. Staying on the outside is Vespertilio. In front now is Porta Fortuna, and away she goes from Fallen Angel Soprano. Porta Fortuna is the winner from Fallen Angel Soprano. Elang
pretty damn good. Japanese import 10 Happy Rose, and I don't know too much about this one, but you can see this is a pretty well seasoned horse with 25 starts. Has had a couple. The Centaur Stakes being the most recent, ran 7th. But we're going to take a look at the Victoria Mile, as it is the preferred distance for the race, and it's a grade 1, and it was a good effort. So maybe that'll give us an idea of what to expect at her best from 10 Happy Rose. So here we go in the Victoria Mile, and 10 Happy Rose is in the 9-hole, and this is from what they've said, this was a bit of an upset. So we maybe want to keep that in mind, but here we go. This is a winning race.
The Victoria Mile field ready. One Toey in the center.
We see a lot of jostling in the gate beforehand.
They're set, ready, racing now. Out the back, Namur missed the start with Rouge Lanage. Early speed from Conch Shell, and Feel Sympathy goes forward. Fierce Pride is up there as well with Stunning Rose. Sound Vivace not too far away.
10 Happy Rose broke okay about mid-pack.
The inside is Lilac. Wider out Doe Eyes. Then comes Harper. 10 Happy Rose, Kidder Wing, Moriana. Namur is second last, and Rouge Lanage is at the tail of the field. Down the back straight here at the Fuchu course in Tokyo. And it's Conch Shell.
See, there she is, or he is rather, in the white there with the yellow cap.
Running third is Stunning Rose. Fourth is Fierce Pride. Then comes Sound Vivace, ran 5th last year, followed by Umbrail, being stalked by Mars Diva and Doe Eyes. Back to the inside, Lilac midfield. Out wider is 10 Happy Rose on its inside, Harper. Then comes Kidder Wing, Moriana well back, Namur all to do, second last. And Rouge Lanage is at the tail, 600-metre mark, goes past them as they swing for home, and on the inside it's Conch Shell.
She just swung out and got clear sailing and a sustained drive. Pretty impressive that it was just a sustained kick. See how much ground she's got to make up, or he has to make up there.
And running on down the outside, 10 Happy Rose, Fierce Pride, 10 Happy Rose, now Umbrail is out. Mars Diva could not get out, swings back to the inside and is in trouble. Hitting the load is 10 Happy Rose. What a major boil over this is going to be. 10 Happy Rose wins out, running second. Oh, that's tight, maybe. Fierce Pride to the inside.
Next is Win for the Money for Mark Cassie and Live Oak Plantation. This one won the Woodbine Mile, and it was a little bit of a surprise, I'd say. But you can see this horse is 11 out of 16 in the money. So it is a competitor, but we'll just have to see. Well, let's take a look at the Woodbine Mile. So here we go with the Woodbine Mile.
And one of the best away, Fila de
And you see
Ariana with
win for the
Niagara
money there in
Skyline
the
and My
sixth
Boy
hole,
Prince on the outside and
number
coming
6
through
saddle
nearer the
blanket with
rail
the familiar
is
live oak
Naval Power to be
plantation silks,
handy right up on
white,
the pace.
red dots,
And it
black
is
sleeves.
also right through Play Me a Tune to stay handy, but going out in front, Fila de Ariana. 3 parts of a length to Naval Power. Secret Reserve has come flushing through in the centre to push the pace on the outside Niagara Skyline. 1.5 to Play Me a Tune. My Boy Prince got back about 4.5 off the lead. Win for the Money is second last, and the early trailer is Big Rock, 1.5 away last. In the Rogers Woodbine Mile, Fila de Ariana shows the way. Travelling smoothly by a length to Secret Reserve. Naval Power tucked up on the inside against the hedge. Moving
Naval
up is
Power
Niagara
was a little bit of a
Skyline. In the
disappointment
centre,
there
Play
for
Me a
Charlie
Tune.
Appleby.
1.5 away is Win for
You
the
know, this
Money.
is usually
My
the
Boy Prince has got
coronation
back
race
to
for
second
Charlie
last,
Appleby's
and the
Woodbine
trailer
Mile
remains
with
Big
Master of
Rock.
the
About
Seas
6
and
length covers this
Modern
field, and
Games.
Fila de Ariana opens up the lead to 1.5. In second placing, Secret Reserve taking off is Niagara Skyline taking a shot at the leader. Waiting in the wings though is Naval Power and William Buick as they corner. And first for the judges, Fila de Ariana. Naval Power presented with a real run up the inside and Win for the Money. They're coming, and down the outside Niagara Skyline. Big Rock is starting to finish well from absolute last, right down the outside. Fila de Ariana in front. On the inside, Win for the Money. Kicking on is Naval Power, and here comes Big Rock right down the outside. Win for the Money's gone to the front. Down the outside, Big Rock, and Win for the Money goes on to win the Rogers Woodbine Mile by 2 lengths.
Beat those two,
Fila
Big
de
Rock and
Ariana
Naval
second,
Power.
Big
That's
Rock
a
third,
pretty
Naval
nice
Power
effort
fourth,
there.
then Play Me a Tune, My
Running
Boy
down
Prince,
a
Secret
pre-game,
Reserve,
Fila de
and Niagara
Ariana.
Skyline was last.
132 flat.
132.11.
Good time, too. Next is an also eligible Goliad who won the Mint Million Stakes at Kentucky Downs in pretty impressive fashion on the front end. Very difficult to do at Kentucky Downs. Horse just, it was full of run for Dick Mandela, and probably not going to get in the race. And as we know, horses following up after a win on Kentucky Downs or running at Kentucky Downs, sometimes they're a little compromised. And of course, Del Mar is a markedly different surface, but we'll take a look at the Mint Million Stakes for Goliad. So here's the Mint Million, and Goliad's not going to be hard to spot. He's going to go right to the lead.
They're off for the $2 million Mint Millions. Tuts Revenge immediately to the front with Fantastic again with her early speed. Emmanuel and Irish Aces are right there as well. And then Goliad to the outside, followed by Talk of the Nation, Ancient Rome, racing outside of Cash
Goliad's
Equity.
in the yellow on the
trailer
outside,
is
just to the
Reckoning
outside of that
Force.
pink
10
runner
lengths
on front
from
there.
top to bottom as they race past the 6 furlong pole and through this opening quarter mile. They're battling it out up front here, and Goliad's going to merge with the lead here. It's Goliad in front. Touch Revenge is running along in second. Fantastic again is third to the outside. After that, it's Emmanuel in fourth, followed by Irish Aces, who's got 6 to make up. And Talk of the Nation, Ancient Rome, the defending champion, 8 lengths off the lead with a half mile to go.
Those are
Cash
some
Equity
really quick
next, then
fractions,
Reckoning
especially
Force.
for Kentucky Downs.
Goliad and Flavian Pratt up top, completing a 44.92 half mile with 3 furlongs to
just
run.
kept
He's the
finding
leader by
more.
a length. Tots Revenge up alongside in second as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Emmanuel saves all the ground, comes on from third, then Fantastic again on the outside. Ancient Rome is trying to finish on outside of Talk of the Nation with still a furlong to run. Goliad clings to the rail and the lead. Goliad still there. Here comes Emmanuel ranging up alongside. Finishing well is Talk of the Nation. And the far outside, Cash Equity is coming on late. They're coming down to the line.
That's
and
you know, you wonder if that was
Goliad
just a
does it.
freakish effort for a
Goliad
horse for the
holds
course.
on
I
to
don't
beat
know,
Cash
but
Equity.
pretty
And then it was
impressive.
Talk of the Nation.
Rakia is an Irish import and also another also eligible, owned by Shadwell Stables and trained by Owen Burrows, who I don't know a whole lot about. This one's got 4 wins out of 7 starts, but you see the earnings are a little light, and you have to believe probably hasn't been facing some real stiff competition. We'll see when the past performances come out. But we're going to take a look at the Oak Tree Stakes, which was a Grade 3 that Rakia won, and we'll see what we'll see. So here's the Oak Tree Stakes, and Rakia shouldn't be hard to spot with that big shadow roll, and you see it right in the middle there.
He's going to be dropped in towards the rear a little keenly, though. Kathmandu is going forward in the very early stages through the first furlong. As they head towards a right-hand turn, out wide is Breege in the green jacket. Got rather warm before the race. Rakia with the white blaze back on the inside then of Ziggy's Dream. The favourite Jabbar has caught a bit wide around this turn. Just out wide, a pretty crystal Sea of Thieves in the turquoise jacket on the inside. Then Vetiver and Stop the Cavalry is at the back of the field. Swinging on right-handed then towards the home turn. And it's Catmandu and Breege 1 and 2. A length and a half away to Rakia. Ziggy's Dream tracking them. Then Jabara, pretty crystal pulled to the outside. Sea of Thieves is tucked in on the rail, followed by Vetiver, and then towards the back of the field, Stop the Cavalry. Running down towards the final quarter mile, and it's Catmandu and Breege. These two continue to battle away. Rakia's got a little bit of a gap up that far rail, if good enough. It's just tightening a little, but here's Jabara now being unleashed by James Doyle, and Jabara quickens up into the lead, followed by Catmandu and Rakia. The lead's just edging right towards the far side and edging across Rakia as they race inside the final furlong. Vetiver finishes well with Ziggy's Dream. Rakia rallies. It's Jabara from Rakia, but Rakia looked to be interfered with. Very tight for the miners. Ziggy's Dream on the outside of Vetiver and Stop the Cavalry.
There, but still a pretty good effort. So the last couple we're going to look at are also eligibles. The first being Full Count Felicia, who we did cover for the filly and mare turf. And I don't know whether she'll be cross-entered or not. I would prefer to see her in that race after what she did in the E.P. Taylor. We did show that race replay, and I'll recommend you go back and take a look at that if you want to see it. This one ran a hole in the wind. She just blew out to the front. Nobody went to get her, and she basically walked home. It was an extremely impressive race, but they did give her the lead. This is a horse with some back class, and maybe at a mile with her front-running style, if she does draw into this race, she could be kind of dangerous. Excuse me. Next we'll look at is Diego Velasquez, and this one really hasn't run a whole lot. Was going to run at Saratoga, I believe it was, and then scratched out. And you know, like trying to find the stats on Equibase, I wasn't really able to. I had to do a little extra digging. So to be honest, I don't even know if these are accurate or not. So I encourage you to, if you want to do some dig a little deeper to find some info. But aside from all that, look at that pedigree. Frankel with acclamation on the bottom. You cannot get any better than Frankel. Magner Tabor, Aidan O'Brien. This one, I did watch a race replay earlier when she was going to run in the States. He was going to run in the States. But I remember distinctly that I didn't really like his running style. He seemed more of a plotter. And I'm just wondering at a mile if maybe it's not enough ground for him. And you can take that for what you will. If you do happen to find a race replay of Diego Velasquez, I encourage you to find it. But with only one starter made, and I don't, you know, how does he stack up? Who knows? But I'm certainly, if Aidan O'Brien thinks enough of him and he does run in the race, then we certainly will. There must be a reason for it, let's say. But he's certainly bred for the grass all day long. So that's the Turf Mile. And, you know, it's all going to be what Euros come over, of course. But I think Porta Fortuna really looks like the one to beat. She's just been masterful. Certainly Carl Spackler is going to give a run for the money as the American. But it should be very interesting, you know, to see a Notable Speech is another one that could very well win it if he brings his A game, and we'll just have to pay attention to the Clocker reports and whatnot as we go along. But it's going to be a fun race without a doubt. I hope this presentation helps you with your own Breeders' Cup research, and if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And we thank all of you who have so far, and look forward to having more of you within our community. We're going to continue on with all the races. I believe we've got 3 or 4 left, including the Turf and the Classic, as well as the Sprint, I believe, and then one other, but a lot of races. So more content coming for sure. We will cover all of them. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.